LED LP table. A couple advantages are it's just like LLP except it uses LEDs, so it's not too difficult to do. It does require an LED frame of LEDs shooting their light just over the surface of the table. Some of the best LEDs to use are the Osram's SFH 4550s, which are an 850 nanometer LED. And their beam angle is really tiny. It's 6 degrees, so they technically are called laser LEDs because it's so narrow, and that makes it perfect for making a plane of light going over the surface. So you can imagine these LEDs are shooting a plane right over the surface. I put one row on this side and one row at the top there. You want to do at least 2 sides. 4 sides are better, obviously. The more light, the better. It's creating technically a grid, and I've spaced these LEDs so that the beams themselves are intersecting exactly where my image starts. You don't have to do that, but because I'm only having 2 sides here, I want to make sure I'm getting definitely enough light. They're all wired 12 volts in groups of 8. 8 times 1.5 is 12, so no resistors needed. Groups of 8 going down, and I'm powering it all with a power supply from a computer modified. So quite a few LEDs. I think there's about 80 or so of them going around, 10 groups of 8 or so. So this is what the output from CCV looks like. You can see how narrow the LEDs are. They're just beams of light going across, and the blobs are perfect. Thanks again also to the 7512 rear projection material we're using here on top. Creates blobs only when you touch the surface. A lot of the magic in these tables is really on what rear projection material you choose, with this material being the best. So you do get a slight hover, as you can see. I can turn the amplifier down that I have up here. I can turn it down, but I want to make sure I get perfect blobs. Really nice contrasty thing. So you can see, trying to do a thing here. So you can see it's got a slight hover, but really good blobs all over the table. So no problems there. One of the things, just like in LLP, that you do have to worry about is oscillation, which is basically blocking a finger with another finger. Here you don't have that problem because I have it in an L shape, but if you had the LEDs on one side and LEDs on another, if you technically had 3 fingers here, this middle finger would be hidden. So you want to make sure you do at least an L pattern, or you have all 4 sides covered, or at least 2 next to each other or more. So yeah, that's ASIC LLP. The problem with this one is you do typically have to put a bezel of sorts over it, mostly for looks, but most people try and make these things with the 15 or 30 degree LEDs from China because they're super cheap, but they're also really terrible because they're compared to 6 degrees. It's a huge beam angle. It's like 5 times greater. So you have to put a bezel over here so that the light, because the light's emitted out of a cone out of the LED, so it hits that bezel and bounces back and does this thing going across as best it can. But if you get these LEDs, which are really nice, it basically just shoots straight across, and you don't have to worry about a bezel, and the bezel is more for aesthetic look going over it.